Storm or what? Yeah.
Storm.
Okay. Sturm. A storm. That's what they call an assault in Ukraine. A Russian armored convoy is heading down the road. The commander, Gaba, prepares an RPG.
Что за хуйня, ебать? Я как будто разучился все делать, нахуй.
With heavy machinery, our only chance is to pray they don't know where we are.
Yeah.
To wait in the shadows, and when the time is right, to pounce.
These guys are close. Whoa. Right, they know where they are now. Hey troops, welcome back to the channel. My name's Ryan, I'm a former commando from the United Kingdom, and today we're going to be reacting to some combat footage from United 24 Media. It's titled Surrounded by Russians. It's the Ukrainian Paratroopers, basically, in an assault. So this is going to be pretty good to get today, guys. It's basically a condensed video of about 14 hours worth of Russian assault. So going to be really, really good. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, let's get straight into it. It's good to be back on YouTube, guys. Drop a comment for the algorithm. Let's get into it.
This, like for all soldiers, is their life now. Ukraine or death.
Last hope.
So, as a journalist working in war zones, I guess one would say you do quite a few things that a lot of people would call borderline irresponsible, but this today might well be the most irresponsible of them all. Behind me are Ukrainian Paratroopers, and we're embedding with them. The mission is to hold the first line of defense outside a small village which has been taken by the Russian army just a couple of days ago.
Wow. So this dude is a little unique in terms of how he's doing the whole journalism thing over there, i.e. independent journalism. He's getting fully embedded with frontline soldiers. He's not in a safe zone. He's not behind the scenes. He's actually right there in front of it, getting amongst it. I mean, if you understand how the paratroopers work, normally, and this is just normally, they get sent in when shit has hit the fan. So he's going to be in quite a dangerous situation, it seems, troops. So I respect that a lot. That's going to give us a lot better viewing quality anyway. We're going to see stuff right up front. So, yeah, I've got a lot of respect for that. A lot of respect.
If I sound nervous, it's because I am.
Wow.
But we felt like it is our job to show what it looks like, raw and unfiltered, when the Russian army is assaulting with all its might. We also wanted to show what it means to stand in their way. In the next 25 minutes, that is exactly what you will see.
Wow.
The war behind us is extremely loud and intense, and where all the sounds are coming from, that's where we're going. We're quickly swapping the car. Some of the guys just came from there, now we're going in.
See, that situation there, for me personally, I would find it quite intimidating, for the simple reason, if I haven't got a weapon system, I would feel naked. I would feel as if I shouldn't be there. And this guy, I don't know what his military experience is, so I'm not going to comment on that, but he's pretty much got nothing on him apart from media equipment, like you'd think. So it takes a lot of guts, a lot of guile to be able to put yourself in that situation without, you know, having any equipment to fight from effectively. But that just might be the Marine in me thinking that way, okay? Media guys, they deserve a lot more respect than they actually get.
We're gonna load up and we're gonna be fast.
So it looks as if he's got a tourniquet and some scissors on there. So yeah, he can probably help out with a little bit of first aid if need be. Good on him.
car stops, we run. 300 meters across the field, dodging craters.
So dangerous already.
We enter position 1. We will call it the shelter. The paratroopers hold 2 positions along this road. The other we will call the yard. The shelter is for resting, the yard for surveillance. From there, the Russians are only 600 meters away.
So we've got a journalist 600 meters away, embedded with the paratroopers. Danger close. That's got to get your respect straight away, guys. It's got mine. Yeah, this guy, I probably has reacted to some of his stuff before, but I don't remember, to be fair, so I'm impressed.
Напротив нас там дом с подвалом. На 4 человека. Спеха смотрели каждые 15 минут, там можно прям возле подвала смотреть. И можно там справа дом. Вот там такое, ебать. Надо слушать, короче, чтобы не было дронов. Потому что FPV-ки, сбросы, все въебывают сюда. Блядь, хуево качество. Ну, тут, короче, крайний дом. Здесь крайний дом. Тут еще типа какой огород, сад, хуй пойми. Тут такая траншейка небольшая идет. Возле траншейку затянули ягозой. Здесь поставили ОЗМ-ку. Здесь противопехотки. И здесь еще одна ОЗМ-ка.
Короче, слева дома никуда не ходить и...
Если идти по этой дороге, только тут трансформатор. Если идти по этой дороге и вообще сюда проходить, чтобы трансформатор постоянно был по правое плечо. Типа проходить сюда.
Right, so these guys are close.
Heads to the yard, and we try and get comfortable. This will be our home for the next few days.
After a quick introduction by some units that were already here, we got a couple of hours of much needed sleep. As you just heard, it's pretty loud. The village is under constant attack. A couple of minutes ago, we had glide bombs landing somewhere here in the vicinity. So it's too dangerous to go even outside just for a couple of minutes. As you can see here, this is the toilet. I guess that says it all.
We share the shelter with Sava, Punk, Morichok, and Albert. Sava, whose real name is Roma, is the commander, a tattoo artist from Kyiv. Punk is, well, a punk. Morichok used to be a sailor, and Albert worked in the IT sector, but his real passion was always the great outdoors. They belong to the Kaifariki. It translates loosely to those who enjoy life. They are, like many others in Ukraine, a group of friends who came together when the war started.
Wow.
What separates them from almost all others is that some were active members of various subcultures, like anti-fascist hooligans. They really are the complete opposite of what Russian propaganda portrays Ukrainian soldiers to be. Rebels, but with a cause.
It's just a bunch of dudes getting out there, getting amongst it then. You got to respect that.
The day progresses, and the shelling intensifies. Outside the cellar, we hear the constant whir of drones. Ours, theirs, who knows?
За цей час, по котрий ми тут...
You know, that there is how PTSD starts. If you want to understand how PTSD starts, it's these guys lying in what they've been told is a safe haven, which is effectively 600 meters away from the front line where the Russians are, the positions, and expecting that to be okay. And bombs going off everywhere, sounds around them, trying to get to sleep, that's waking them up. Man, it's intense. Like, when these guys get home, it's not going to be normal for them, you know? It just isn't. Life won't be the same for these guys if and when they get home.
So we've been stationed here. We've been holding the line, supporting nearby brigades, doing recon, and bracing ourselves for an enemy attack. I expect it'll come early morning, or when it's dark, or maybe during bad weather. No matter what happens, we'll give them everything we've got.
So they know it's coming.
This position is very close to a village that our enemy recently captured. And now, they're leveling this village to the ground. It's quiet in this second. But as you know, the fighting picks up morning and night. Drones are constantly buzzing overhead, ours and theirs, trying to pinpoint positions. The enemy has the upper hand here. More firepower, more artillery, more troops, more of everything. They're pushing hard to break through, and they're making progress. The situation is critical. Moving around during the day is too risky. Too many drones. They spot you immediately. They fly over every house that's still standing, over every basement, trying to locate our infantry. We've learned that the hard way. They soften us up with artillery so that infantry hunkers down in the basements, doesn't manage to put up any real defenses, and the enemy moves in and just lobs grenades down into the basements. Right now, everything is stable, but we're waiting for nightfall and another round of clashes with the enemy.
So it's just not conventional warfare at all. They're, using artillery to strike the individual places where they think the Ukrainians are. They're hunkering down in the basement as you would, to get out of the way of the artillery fire, and then they're pushing in as that's happening, stopping it, and then lobbing grenades in. It's like, that's war. That's the realities of war. We can talk about tactics all we want, but, that's just how it goes, guys. Looks as if we're getting ready for some form of fight.
The boys slowly start getting ready for rotation. Punk gives a quick introduction of the group's hardware.
An assault rifle isn't much use against anything other than infantry. With the PKM, you can at least engage lightly armored vehicles. Maybe even try to penetrate the rear of a BMP. We've got armor-piercing rounds we captured from the Russians for BMPs, BRDMs, but they won't stop a tank. We have one N-lock, but that's it. So if a tank comes rolling in, we'll have only one shot.
Wow.
And then we'd better get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, you better get the hell out of there quick. Right, I think we're going to see some action here,
When it's dark, we split.
And the thing is, you can pretty much guarantee these guys are being watched now. So you're almost guaranteed to get in some form of fracas right now, guys, okay?
Our cameraman moves with the Kaifaniki to position 2, the yard. There, the boys conduct small reconnaissance missions, checking the road, watching for enemy movement. It's silent work, but dangerous. You can be sure that on the other side, someone is also watching. I stay behind at the shelter, and I'm joined by Gaba, Django, Ene, and Obama. They are from BSDG, the Black Sea Defense Group, founded by Gaba and 2 others from Odessa. Also they are, like the Kaifariki, a group of friends, mostly martial artists, who gathered when war began.
Wow.
The atmosphere is friendly. We are joined by a cat that has escaped the war above in search of some grub and cuddles. That's how the night begins.
4 a.m.
At 4 a.m., bombs start to pound the village. The walls shake,
Wow.
debris scatters down the stairs. The carpet begins to flutter like a flag warning us. Trouble is coming.
Yeah, it's coming okay.
100 meters away, the same bombs have ripped us from our sleep. But in the cellar, without eyes on the road, only the radio will tell us what is happening.
So there's tanks on the way. They've only got one.
Calls for help.
Only got one.
Плюс. Куда поддержка? Куда?
Нужна поддержка в паре противотанков. Нужна поддержка в паре противотанковых.
Yeah, they need anti-tank support.
Плюсяра, сова, плюсяра. Я информацию слышал, но мы пока не можем высунуть даже носа, ебать. Хуярят очень сильно.
It's really difficult, this, because This tank's on the way. They do have the means to be able to get at least one tank if they've got a good shot, which, you know, by this point they will do. But supporting when there's multiple tanks there with one anti-tank weapon system is only going to do one thing, and that's reveal your location. Pretty dangerous if you ask me. And these guys are forced out of their comfort into, you know, harm's way, guaranteed to be able to get into some form of fight through this. It takes a lot of bravery to be able to do that, guys. But if they need support, you got to support. It's as simple as that.
Шарю. Пацани, дуже швидко піздую, блядь.
Yeah, they need them now. Gotta go. You can hear the bombs going off all over. It's getting very intense.
Storm or what? Yeah?
Штурм.
Okay.
Дайте мне РПГшку, отвешку, хоть что-то там.
Sturm. A storm. That's what they call an assault in Ukraine. A Russian armored convoy is heading down the road.
Whoa.
The commander, Gaba, prepares an RPG.
Сука. Что за хуйня, ебать? Я как будто разучился все делать, нахуй.
With heavy machinery, our only chance is to pray they don't know where we are. To wait in the shadows, and when the time is right, to pounce.
This is the thing, though, guys. They might actually be sending an armored patrol out towards their actual positions. That's something that they might not know yet. So it's extremely dangerous, man. Yeah, they're going to get in a fight now.
It's pure chaos. The guys are burning through ammunition, trying to stop the Russians from overrunning them.
I can't hear any return and fire from the Russians yet.
One soldier always has his gun to the exit, his eyes scanning from left to right.
Ще раз, Габа, ще раз.
Говорю, пытаюсь вызвать сову.
The grenades start to run low, but still, there are smiles.
Last hope.
Малыш, давай, я казав, нам не мав.
There is no other way to describe this situation but madness.
Really? You fucked the tank? I love you, brother, man. I love you.
In the middle of the battle, my night vision camera breaks. It records only static and sound. It's ironic because I barely remember any part of this, but it happened. Both where we laughed like maniacs.
I trust in you.
And where Obama tells me to kill myself if the Russians enter.
Знаешь, что ты можешь сделать?
Скажи.
Если они зайдут сюда,
He stops speaking. He puts his fingers to his mouth and pulls the imaginary trigger.
I suppose it's better than getting caught, right?
Back at the yard, the Russians are closing in fast. Sava and his group are not as lucky as us. The enemy knows exactly where they are.
Wow.
Малыш, ты сова. Малыш.
It's going to pick up, I think. the assaulters began, alright. Okay. Right, so it looks as if the Russians are actually directly behind them now, so we might actually see something. This is the thing with war in terms of what they're doing. You don't tend to see much in terms of, you know, the return and fire and the aggressors pushing forward and stuff. So it's normally difficult to gauge from a camera. Like, these guys who are there on the ground will have a very different experience to what this camera and video is portraying. That's the one thing I think people don't realize with this whole situation is you can see it from one side, but unless you've got an aerial view and someone narrating over the top of what's going on, you're going to struggle to actually figure out what is going on. You know, even me, myself, I know that they can see and hear the enemy, have a general direction of where they're coming from to be able to shoot at. But, you know, they might not have seen them much, that's for sure. It's just not like that, okay? But now it looks like it's going to get up close and personal. That's one.
The only way in and
One thing
out
for sure.
leads through an open yard. Punk blasts his rifle, and with his grenade launcher, Sava, the commander, sends one round after the next, hurling towards the enemy.
У меня легкая в руку, сова, легкая.
Then he's injured.
Все увидим, все будет хорошо, пацаны. Я вас люблю.
Flying shrapnel scrapes open his forearm, but he continues fighting.
So what I've seen happen there is he's put a tourniquet on, okay? He hasn't tightened it up, because obviously if you tighten the tourniquet all the way up, if you're bleeding out, obviously, then you're pretty much guaranteeing whatever's below that to be coming off, okay? That's normally how it works. Not all the time, obviously, but that's pretty much, you're saying goodbye to that limb. He's just got it on there preemptively because he's already injured, so I think he's done that in case he gets re-injured within that area or it gets worse, so he can just tighten it up and so he doesn't bleed out. That's my thoughts anyway. That's what I would be doing, and that's what I think he is doing. Right, so these guys are very close.
3 hours into the battle, daylight breaks. It's hard to say what is going on in his mind as he calmly slides past the wall stained with his blood again and again, chucking grenades through the opening and returning to take a sip of water like some people spend the hot summer's day in a park, passing a ping pong ball to their friend to serve.
Wow. Just chilled out, man. 8
At
a.m.
the shelter, the fight has calmed down a bit. One of the BSDG always watches the entrance, ready to fire at any moment. They switch every couple of minutes. The rest reload, rest and reflect. Django has lost his hearing, but apart from that, everyone is okay.
Whoa. He's lost his hearing.
The adrenaline wears off a bit, and we can start to think straight.
Right, his actions. So what's going on here?
Три танка, 2 бэхи, 2 БТРа. No. Это было сегодня.
Right, so we've got 7 vehicles that, you know, to a degree have some form of armor plating on it, especially the tanks. I'm not sure on the BMPs and stuff, the other ones, but yeah, they've got no means to really fight them, especially from the position they're in as well. So this is going to be pretty interesting to see how they combat this if they actually get involved in that kind of fighting. Should really be getting out of there.
But the calm is deceptive. All of a sudden, we hear the gentle hiss of a gas grenade, and smoke starts to fill the room. I filmed the beginning on my phone before I can get my camera to work.
That's
Is it
dangerous.
poison gas? Tear gas? Are they trying to smoke us out? Will they come in? The boys don't take any chances and start shooting.
This is getting sketchy, man.
We are lucky. It's not poison, and the Russians don't enter. But we are surrounded, and we realize we will not be leaving this cellar anytime soon.
Just imagine that. These guys clearly haven't got the means to protect themselves from any form of gas attack, by the looks of it. I haven't seen gas masks or CBRN kit or anything like that. So they're at the mercy of it as well. And you just don't know if the Russians are going to put that or put them in that situation. I know that what we've been trained in the British military, we would go to an area if there was a gas threat with the kit and equipment to be able to deal with that. These guys haven't got that situation or that benefit, it seems.
At the yard, the fight is in full swing. The Russians have closed off the roads and taken up position in a house directly opposite. Because backup can't reach us, the guys try to coordinate Ukrainian mortar crews and drone units via the radio.
Там пидоры просят поддержку. Они просто за забором от меня, блядь.
Finally, a friendly drone drops an explosive over the enemy position. You can hear an injured Russian moaning in pain. But for Sava, the commander, it is not enough. He does not want to take any chances and leaves cover to fire an RPG.
Wow. Smashing it to bits, man. 1 p.m.
At the shelter, tensions are high. We hear voices. The Russians are just outside. One seems to be injured. We hear them chanting in unison, trying to heave their comrade over the ground. They call for backup. More arrive. Their voices get louder and louder.
I know this sounds horrible, but this is war, remember. In this situation, you are primed to pounce on that. Their vulnerability, they're getting their man across the ground. Okay, that's not going to stop anyone from feeling sorry for them, okay, especially in this situation. If it was me, and obviously I'm not in that situation, so I can't comment fully, but if it was me and I knew they were very, very close, and you've got pretty much an entire team evacuating a wounded person, yeah, get amongst that straight away, okay, because you could literally take an entire section of men out. So, sounds horrible, it is horrible, war is horrible. Shoot at, yeah, so shoot at that position.
У нас есть дохуя пидоров, перекличку, сука, делают. Ебаните в нас, кто слышит.
Gaba sends a final call for help over the radio. There is a cellar, we hear one of the Russians say. They're coming. It is the moment when my life should be flashing before my eyes, but it doesn't. I only see Obama, his lips twisting around his teeth as he and Django stand with the guns in their hand.
Go on, lads.
But once again, we are lucky. Our call for help was heard. Kaifariki and BSDG fighters assist with drones, mortars, and RPG strikes from behind the fields around.
Smashing it to bits, aren't they?
From above, you can see the full scale of the inferno.
Yeah, you get a much better picture of it when it's an aerial view, that's for sure.
Inside, explosions very close to us tell us Ukrainian troops are firing at the Russians. Gaba decides that attack is the best defense.
Yeah,
he throws
exactly.
grenades and then shoots an RPG at the house opposite us, where we suspect them to be.
Damn, the house is on fire.
Back at the yard, the situation worsens. It's been over 12 hours of battle. Punk is wounded. A piece of shrapnel has lodged itself deep into his leg. The boys move him from the yard to the entrance.
Yeah, he's injured, man.
Albert provides cover while Sava applies first aid. Punk is struggling not to go into shock, his eyes rolling into the back of his head. They move him onto the staircase where he fights the pain.
This is going to be dangerous for a major reason. Obviously, he's going to be pretty hard to evacuate, okay, without any support. Going to be really tough for him to maneuver across the ground quickly if need be. Yeah, it changed the situation entirely. Excuse me.
The rest continue fighting the Russians while making another push. They realize that they cannot stay here much longer. Ammunition and energy are running out. The road is still blocked. To escape, the group will have to run around behind enemy lines.
Wow, so dangerous now. This is going to be difficult to do with that injured guy. Excuse me.
Плюс. А кто-то может артой подсобить, закрыть типа пидоров, чтобы в этот момент проскочили? Пробуем, Форст. Давай, на связи.
Just 50 meters behind the yard, the drone pilot has spotted an empty trench. It's their best chance. The only problem, the Russians have a BTR positioned at the crossroads. Clumsily, they have driven it into a ditch, but the crew is still inside.
Wow. So they're going to have to fight this.
At the shelter, there is good and bad news. The good news, the voices of the Russians have died down. Are they dead, injured, only hiding? We don't know. The bad news, the house we are under and all the houses around us are on fire. The cellar starts to fill with smoke. We all get a headache, the first sign of carbon monoxide poisoning.
Get the hell out of there, man.
As the sun slowly sets, we decide we have to make a run for it. The other paratroopers have set up a first line of defense at the edge of a field that ends right behind our shelter. My camera at this point has no more battery. The only footage we have is from Obama's body cam. We leave the shelter after 14 hours of hell and run.
Good effort, lads.
Miraculously, we all make it.
Wow.
Sava and the others fight their way out through enemy-controlled territory. All four, plus our cameraman, are injured. Their exit was made possible by two comrades, Vegan and Woody, who killed the crew of the Russian BTR blocking the exit.
Whoa.
Having survived only due to the bravery and resilience of the commanders Sava, Gaba and their boys, we head home with a near-death experience that hopefully won't repeat itself so soon. For the Kaifariki and the BSDG, it's back to war the next day. This, like for all soldiers, is their life now. Ukraine or death.
Wow, pretty good that. I like that video. United 24, thank you very much. Original link will be in the description. So, yeah, that's something we forget. Whilst I've had 3-4 months taking a break from YouTube because, you know, I needed to do different things. These guys have been fighting every day. Zero choice in the matter. I think we need to remember that. With all conflicts around the globe, actually, everything that's going on, there's no breaks in war. And wherever you are, if you're not in that situation, we just got to be thankful for it, haven't we, really? Great video, guys. If you liked it, thank you. Drop a comment below. I'll try and get back to you. It's nice to interact with you guys again. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.